months ago, I was afraid to go live. Like,
We're alive,
yeah, we're live. We'll see if somebody jump in.
right?
And you know what? Because you're live,
But the
random people can come in here too. Like they
right,
don't even know who you are. I
right,
be having people from all over the world in my chats. Like I be having people from London, Japan, England, and they be liking the show. So that's why, I like it. And that's why I had a funky little backgrounds and stuff like that, for entertainment.
right,
I, I,
right.
I be having a good time though. Like it's fun going live. Just 3 months ago, I was afraid of the camera. And when I say afraid, it's different when you're in front of the camera and it's looking back at you. And when people's talking to you in the chat, but they're not on the panel,
Right.
you got to look at the comments, you got to talk. But since I've been doing it, what happened was I used to go on other people's lives, get on their panels, get used to being on the camera. And then now I was like, man, it's just like talking to somebody. So,
Right. That's the way, I usually do on Facebook.
right.
I'll go live on Facebook. And sometimes me and your mama always singing somewhere.
Right. And see, and what I like about this is you can treat this like a Zoom call as well. So what you can do is you send everybody the link, y'all jump in here, make sure you don't do it private, do it public, and y'all can have conversations. You can do your sessions like this, a private session with your students. They
Hmm.
can get on here and y'all could just talk. Nobody has to see it.
Okay.
But if you want to, you can record it. You can actually record it and not broadcast it. You can do that too. And that's another thing. So what Customize Any Ride, what we do is we on certain days we do recorded sessions. And what we'll do is it'll record and then we'll set it as a premiere. So let's say for instance we record on Wednesday, but we're gonna premiere it on Saturday.
Okay.
So we'll set it up just like you set it up here, the time, the date, and then what happens is on Saturday at that date, it's gonna automatically 30 minutes before the show, it's gonna send a notification that everybody that's subscribed to you, they'll know in 30 minutes and it'll show the time, it'll count down to, and then once it do that, boom, it shows the video and we can jump in and just look, be in the chat with everybody
Right.
else. We won't be
Okay.
on the channel, you know what I'm saying? So that's a premiere video too. So you got a couple of options of how you do it as well. So this is dope, you know. So I'm looking forward to you. You just let me know when you want to set this up, when you want to set up. Kind of let me know what questions you're gonna ask. Because that's what
So
we do. That's what we do. What we
that's the
do
way
is,
you do it, but that's not how a real
oh, I'm
recording
sorry.
does it.
Well, we do it. We
you
do it.
talking about you're talking about I remember when in my we would interview Sandra Bland's mother, the woman that got killed in Texas by the police officer. She would not she had been so jumped on that she
Right.
didn't want to do she wanted to see the questions. What I just you don't do that.
Well, and I understand that.
But I can understand her point of view, but at that
Right.
point, we were not going to release the questions. I was having my students, and I told them because you do soft questions and you do hard questions,
See, I
and
need to learn that from you. I need to learn that from you.
situations
Right.
you don't some things you don't want to you don't want to play puff puff and smoke. You want actually an answer, and
Right.
answer it,
Right.
not going to answer it, and that's just the way the business is done. You
Okay. Okay.
you have 10 hard, you mix them together, and
Got you.
then usually you don't. It's I mean, it's that element of realness when
Got
you
you.
have an interview.
Got you.
That element of realness during the interview.
Got you.
So
Well,
that's why I don't actually release questions ahead of time.
what we do is we don't really. Let me rephrase that. We don't really tell them what questions we're gonna ask. What we do is we ask them what subjects that you don't want to talk about. Like there was an incident where two guys, they were cool. They ended up fighting. This is real life on YouTube. They got to fighting, and guns was about to come out. They've been wanting to fight for a long time, but they around my age, so they decided just to fight. So one of my boys, he's one of the ones that wants to have a podcast, but he wants all the gossip. And I was like, look, I don't want to be part of that. I don't want to be part of a podcast to be like, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to be
I
a
understand it.
Geraldo, and all that type. stuff.
Right.
So I said, so what we normally do is 10 minutes before we actually broadcast everybody, they jump on and we just kind of talk to them, fill them
Right.
out, stuff like
Right.
that. And then we'll ask them, hey, is there anything that you don't want to talk about? And I told my boy, I was like, look, before you ask these questions, ask him. And when he asked him, dude said, look, I'm not trying to go there. I'm trying to stop the violence. I got a barbecue coming out. I don't want to portray that. That was just something that happened and it happened to be on camera. So I don't want to touch that subject. So we
Okay.
don't. So basically, that's what we do. It's not that we give them the questions because we don't, because we like to have the element of surprise. Like we ask questions that a lot of people don't ask. Yes, they're about cars. People know about the cars, but we asked about how you get started. We ask like personal questions though. We do ask personal questions and stuff like that. So we don't give them the questions.
Right.
We just ask them what topics are sensitive that they don't want, because we don't want to ask them a question because that could make us look bad. We don't want to make the guests uncomfortable. Because they might be back on the show again. So
Right.
we don't give them the questions. We have our own questions and stuff like that. With 3 other people on here, we do 5 questions. And what we do is if the questions go too long, because we try to stay within an hour. So what we do is we'll have, and some people, some people that you interview, if you ask them a question, they give you a straight answer, like, and that's it. And then you're like, so sometimes you have to give them a 2-part question, because some people, you ask them a question, they'll go on and on and on and on
Right.
and on.
Right.
So you got 5 questions, you might have to drop down to 3 questions. Or
Right.
you might have to drop down to 2 because you got 3 other people that's got to ask questions.
Right.
You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So, and we go in order. It's 4 of us, so we'll go in order. And then I know, hey, I'm gonna pass it on to L Boogie, and then once I finish, I pass it back on to the well, we call him the CEO, but we pass it on to him and he closes out the show. So that's how we do it. So yeah, I understand what you're saying. That we don't do that. We just make sure they're comfortable and make sure topics that we don't need to cover.
Right. Yeah. I understand that because
Right.
they don't need to run into each other on the block, and then it's a big mess about what you said on your show.
Right. I mean,
you said on that show last night.
It get good ratings though, trust me. But I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that person though. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to be part of that.
You want some peace. That's
all positive vibes. You know what I'm saying? If they want to go and look at that type of stuff, they can go somewhere else and do it.
Now I've been down I'm really interested in talking to your friend who does podcasts. I've been podcasting for almost 20 years.
I'm gonna tell you what. There's a female that I ain't gonna lie. She actually kind of reminds me of you. She got short hair. She about your complexion. She's a little bit lighter. She does a lot of podcasts with Big Time, Big Wheel Racing. She's really good. I think you're better, not because I know you, but there's a couple of females, that do it. So I could definitely connect you to Car Talk TV. That was the 2 guys that I was telling you about.
And we can talk about my new car. We can talk about my car, which looks like a Range Rover.
Oh, right. And they'll love that.
A Range Rover. Right. And I really wanted a Range Rover, but I didn't take it seriously because one thing that got me about the Range Rover is I know that cars can't be repaired by anyone. So I already have a credit card at what's it, Bridge something? Firestone
Bridge, yeah.
It's like, it's a female mechanic right here in Clarksville that runs one of the stores over there by the mall, the Firestone over there by the mall.
Yes, I know which one you're talking about. Across from Steak and Shake.
Before I even got this car, and I told her, I said, I really like that Range Rover. And then she was like, we can't fix all these different cars. Some cars are going to have to go back.
You have to take to the dealership. Now they're making these cars where you almost dang near have to take it because all the computerized. Then you got to think about the Range Rover has air ride suspension. And if the air ride suspension goes out, then you got to take it to Range Rover and it's going to cost more money to fix it because the air ride suspension, they're not going to touch it at Firestone. And you're not going to take it to any little mom and pop shop and think it's going to get fixed.
You can't take these new cars to mom and pop shops anymore because of the computers and
Right.
and just you just can't do it.
Right.
So I that's one. But I looked at this car and I liked it, and I'm like, man, this does look like a Range Rover. And but I was like, okay, but it didn't have a Range Rover price tag. It didn't have the
Well, and
Range.
that's fine. That's what I try to tell people. These new cars, now they make them just as good as the other. Now it's just a name that you're paying for, and you got to think about like back in the day, Kias, Hyundai's were talked about. Now they're just as good. You can get like one of my cars that I like is the Genesis. Have
My
you?
colleague
Hey,
Genesis.
they got the SUV. They got a bad SUV now too. You know what I'm saying? And they're $60,000. Things costing $60,000, $70,000 now. You know, you have the Stinger, the Kia Stinger, with all that horsepower. That's a nice car. You know, you looking at about 30, 40,000 for that car. You 50,000 up to 50,000, depending on the option that you get. You know, so um nowadays it don't matter. All these cars are good now. You know, there's really not a bad car. And actually you can get the same thing out of that car that you can get from a Range Rover. You know, you got that big screen, touch screen on yours.
Right.
It look good. I ain't no front. Hey, that thing look real good. And that color that you got too, that's a real good color.
Right. And yeah. Now they call that color red diamond. That's
okay.
The name of the color is red diamond, and I do like it. I do like it.
And I'm sure you got lane assistance in it.
Oh my goodness!
It probably gets on your nerves. It'll probably get on your nerves.
If you don't put your blinker on, it'll pull you back.
Yep.
I was like, whoa, what's going on with this car? You can it'll stay within the lanes, but if you can actually drive it drive itself. But it I can take my hands off the wheels for a minute.
Right.
But then it's like it'll say warning, turn all red on the system and stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I was like, okay, let me put my hands back on the wheel. But it's like you have to. It stays, and you don't have to guide it. I can barely touch the wheel. It's driving itself.
Right.
Driving itself.
Right. So
I'm tripping on this car.
Right. So I'm gonna tell you like this. Car Talk TV, like I said, they talk about cars, but they also talk about motivation. They talk about black businesses. So great. So what they can do is I'm gonna tap you into these people that I follow, and they actually do know and met, and they can help you out. You can help them out because they can learn from you, and you got a lot to say and definitely got a lot of knowledge, so they definitely would so I'll just have to get with them. I'll call him tomorrow, and they already have like their lineup for the year. So what they do is they schedule people, so they do that. And now they just started an all women's podcast. They're trying to come out with a network, so they got an all women's podcast. They drive cars, they race, they do all of that.
Wow, I didn't get hooked up with them.
So now they have that too, and they are doing. Matter of fact, they just started their first show last Wednesday. So they interview women, all women, and it's not just about cars. You can talk about your car, but they talk about businesses and everything else, motivation and all that. So I could definitely tune you in with these people, get you connected with these people. Because I'm gonna tell you what, right now, COVID happened for a reason, and I'm gonna tell you, like I tell people, I say, COVID happened to slow people down. I believe to really look back and see how your life is going, what you did wrong, family time. Now, at one point we couldn't be around our families. I couldn't be around my mom. She ended up getting COVID. It's one of those things that you gotta appreciate people. So what became popular was live streams, Zooms, Skype calls, all the stuff that we really took for granted. Right. But now when it happened, now we're here and technology is, look, I'm talking to you right now. Who would ever thought that we can have these Zoom calls and all of this stuff, and people work at home and work on Zoom calls, on StreamYard,
Right.
on all of this stuff. This thing is wonderful. I couldn't see my mom for Thanksgiving, so we all Zoom called. We
Mhm.
weren't there, but we were there. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
So
right.
so this whole live stream and the different things that you can do with this thing is crazy how you could do that. You can basically now with hardly any money start you a podcast.
And that's what I try to get my students to realize. Everybody wants to wait till they have the perfect situation. It doesn't have
There's no perfect
there's
situation.
no perfect situation.
No perfect
You
time and no
get
perfect
these
situation.
phones and do it. Just like I was talking to you on my phone earlier on the same platform. And that's what they really need to do. They really need. I'm going to teach this in my class upcoming. I'm going to bring you in as a guest.
Okay.
In fact, well, God just said we should all just meet on live stream. And,
yeah, let's do that. Let's do that.
Do that. And because they don't understand that you could go out and do what you need to do. You don't need to wait. This is the time when mom and dad is paying your bills. This is the time for you to discover, make the mistakes you made, and prepare your last, whatever you're going to do to step out into the world and get employed. And I can't, you can't, you got to have some type of vision. But I'm not going to say I was the same way when I was at
I was. But see, this is the thing.
I have that vision. And it's something that you had to develop over the years through circumstances and life and all that stuff. So it's just crazy.
It's not as hard. I mean, back then we didn't have all these options and all these different things. Now it's so easy. You can go live on your phone. Like that's crazy that you can actually go live on your phone. And to piggyback off of what you just said, these kids, they so rush to get out the house because they want to be independent. They don't want to go by their parents' rules. But that's not what we're trying to do. We want you to be here. I'd rather you stay. If you got to stay in the house 2 or 3 more years so you can learn what you need to learn, because what's going to end up happening is you go ahead and rush up out of here, right? Hard times, you coming right back.
Oh, definitely. You're right.
You know what I'm saying? I'd rather you stay longer and stay gone longer once you get out.
But you know what? A lot of parents had that 1830 rule too. Like,
man, it ain't working.
You got 30 days to get out when you get 18. And it's like, because their guidance at that point is something altogether different.
Right.
And that's why I was happy Vanessa left. No, she didn't leave home right away. What did she do? She went to college. But anyway, you still have to have that preparation time.
Right.
You got to have that preparation time. It's because you living on your parents' money. You're living on your parents' what they created. And it's not necessarily going to be what you're going to create. It's not like it is living with your parents when you get into the real world.
Right. And the thing with that though, like just take your time.
Right.
Like my daughter, she's got 2 more years of college. I said, look, you're gonna move back to Tennessee, you're gonna stay with me. I don't need you to pay no bills. The only thing I'm gonna ask you to do is you're gonna buy your own personal hygiene. You're gonna keep your room clean.
Mm-hmm.
I shouldn't have to ask you to take that trash out.
Wash dishes.
And then I need you to since you be using all our washing powder, and you need to buy dishwashing liquid. Just little stuff, you know what I'm saying? But you ain't got to pay no light bill. You ain't got to pay none of that. Save your money. Take advantage of while you in school. This girl making money at Hancock right down the street. She can walk to work if she need to. She making over $2,000 a month with no bills besides a cell phone bill.
I was like, look, smart enough to bank her money.
Right. I said, look, save your money. I don't need none of your money. I want you to do what you need to do so you can move out.
So we need to do a show on life lessons. That'd be good because you have mines are grown and yours are in college and still in school. That would be a pretty good mix. Yeah.
16 and 21. 16 and 21.
21 and mines are 30, 20, 29, 28, 30, and 40 something. Right. But you don't ever stop being a parent. You don't never.
I just told my daughter.
You don't stop being a parent, but you have to know when to close your purse.
Right.
You got to know when to close your purse, and
Right.
and that's the issue with a lot of parents. They don't close their purse strings.
Right.
Cut.
Right. And my thing is you know, if they need a little money here and there, that's fine, but for the most part, they do what they do. And what I told my youngest today or yesterday when she was with me, we about to get a house soon. And I told her, I said, we're gonna get a 3-bedroom. Or probably 4. The way these new houses are, they
Right.
like 4 bedrooms now. And she said, well, why you need all those rooms? I said, for one, I need a studio for my stuff.
Right.
And my girl, she needs a studio too, because we doing this together, with the couples channel, and she's a graphic designer and she sews and all of that stuff. So we need room. So she might need her own room. I might need my own room, and said, then I'll probably put a day bed or something in there. And then I said, I'm gonna have an extra spare room. I said, because you never know when your child is gonna come back and have hard times.
And you know what?
Your job is never done as a parent until they're gone. Well, until we're gone, because hopefully we leave before they do. So you're never done. So I said, I learned that from my dad. Why do you think they keep a spare bedroom?
Yeah, but you guys are pretty well situated. You guys are really well situated.
True.
I know that some things may happen, but I think after you get a certain age, like my kid's 30, the older 30, 40 something. It's gonna get a certain age, they don't want to live with you.
Right. But I did have to, when I got divorced, I had to move back. I had hard times.
You had to move back after you got divorced.
I was in my 20s though. I was 20,
right.
24, 25, and I ended up moving back at home, but you always keep that just in case, or hey, even if my parents,
right,
even though they straight, because this is the thing, and this is and I learned this from my dad. This is what kids need to learn. When you are a baby, your parents take care of you. You bald. You ain't got no teeth in your mouth. They feed you. They clothe you. And then once you get older, it's a recycle thing. They get bald. They lose their teeth. They can't hardly walk. So now it's your turn to take care of them. Kids think that you don't have to do nothing for your parents because they good, but they get old and it's harder to do things. So it's a recycle thing. They take care of you. When they get old, you take care of them.
Right.
They don't necessarily have to live with you, but you take care of them. You help them out. You go see them, make sure they're okay. If they have to go to a nursing home, which I hope my parents never have to, they can stay with me. If I have to get a big enough house for them to stay in and take care of them, I'll do that. But at the same time, we take care of them. And these kids don't know that. And honestly, I told a lot of these kids, I said, this is a hard generation. I ain't gonna lie. This is a hard generation for these kids now. It's hard, but it's easy. You got the technology, what makes it easy, but it's hard. It's a lot of pressure on these kids now. I feel that it's hard. Us, we didn't have all the technology. It is what it is. Now if it's the punishment, if you take a phone from them, look, last year, the power don't hardly go out on this side of town because I live on the good side of town. Not that y'all live on the bad side, but we kind of like on this side of town, electricity don't go out. Electricity went out. They thought it was the end of the world. You know why? They ain't had no internet.
What you have to use? I don't know what you had to use. We had the encyclopedia.
Look, that's what I had. Look, I am 42 years old. Computers wasn't out at that time. So that's when your parents had to get that loan for them encyclopedias. And some people didn't have the money for the complete set because there was a budget encyclopedia, but then there was the full set.
Budget encyclopedia.
Right.
You had the children's books.
Right.
And it had music in the book, and
Right.
poems. And I remember they were red and white, thick
Right.
books, and those
Right.
were children books. And then as I grew older, we went
Right.
into the red books. We had projects and stuff. Even in
Right.
elementary school, we had projects.
Right.
But we didn't have to go to the library as much because
Right.
we had the red and blues
Yes, with my
encyclopedia.
parents. I had the complete set. I had the entertainment. Where my dad's room was my room. He had the entertainment center. I was a spoiled little kid though, but I had the full thing encyclopedia. So when the kids came over my house, they was like, "Man, y'all parents got money," you know. And then when we got the computer, because at that time it wasn't no color computer. It was like black and green screen,
Right.
And then we finally got the color, and we had the dial up.
Yeah,
And
man, dial up. We were doing dial up websites. My first website that I did was called Chill Factor Zero, or was it Unsigned Artist Mix? It doesn't matter. Whichever was. The newspaper was Unsigned Artist Mix. But I was taking the artists, doing almost like Facebook. You could actually, I took pictures of the artists, put them on website, and then we had a little thing, a little little ziggly line that they can do dial up, depending on, they had two choices of what they had. That it would go up on, and they could hear the artist's music.
Right. Did she say your order to be delayed? Oh, okay. They on their way. But yeah, now it's the end of the world when you ain't got no internet, And I told him, I said, we gonna sit down and we gonna talk.
Child, if you don't have a phone,
look, we talked. Matter of fact,
that's what the pandemic did. It made a lot of people talk. But let me tell you something. Being Jewish, that was a part. It didn't probably bother my kids so much because after 3 o'clock on Friday, everything shut down. You don't do your cell phone shut down. Everything shut out. You have to go out and enjoy the beauty that's around you, the stuff that God created, the trees, the park, go for walks. You don't drive, things like that until like sundown on Saturday. So it was like we ate dinner. We didn't eat dinner all together all week. On Friday, we would eat dinner together. Okay. Right. We would eat dinner together. Even the stove that I have it has what we call a Sabbath mode in it, where you can keep your food warm the whole 24 hours of the Sabbath. So it's a Samsung. So the whole 24, it has a little Star David in it. I saw that Star David. I said, no, this is a Jewish mode. I said, oh my God, I can keep my food warm without burning it.
There you go.
Exactly a warm temperature where it doesn't recook, and it keeps it warm during the 24-hour Sabbath period.
Right. And one of the things that you said though, and I said it at one point, the problem is, and I'm gonna tell you what the problem is with the parents, because a lot of it is the parents, and I understand that they're busy, they're working 2 jobs or whatever the case may be, because it's hard to survive out here. And the problem is though, there's a lot of things that we can control. And one of the things that we no longer do, and we stopped doing it when I got older, is we don't eat dinner together. The only time we eat dinner is holidays. And that's sad, because those were the times where you sat down, we talked about how was your day at school, how was your day at work, we laughed, we talked. Then after that, we watched a movie or something like that. We don't even do that. Kids go in their room, they eat their food, nobody eats at the dinner table. I don't even know why people have dinner tables. The only reason why we have dinner tables is for holidays. That's it. That's all we have it for. And that's the problem.
I really wanted a house with a dining room in it, just because to have a formal dining room, to actually eat dinner at the table in the dining room.
Right.
On the weekends, we need to sit down and eat.
Right.
Dinner. But my lifestyle has gotten so crazy.
And it has. And we all
want to cook. But
look, you see what I just did? I just ordered Grubhub. Who would ever thought that when people told me back in the day, oh man, McDonald's gonna start delivering. What? Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? Like,
excuse me.
We didn't got to the point where we didn't got so lazy, all of us have, to where all we got to do is pick this thing up right here and get everything. We ain't got to get up and go nowhere. We don't have to. how many kids do you see on a bicycle riding down the street? You know what happens? Kids get those bikes for Christmas and they go and offer up the next year. My mom did it. She bought all those bikes for them kids and just gave them away because they ain't ride them. Back in the day, you couldn't keep me in the house. I was out.
I was out also, man.
All day, to the point where my mom was like, if you don't come home and eat, you ain't gonna have nothing to eat when you get home. and at that point, I didn't care. But when I got home, I was hungry. Put that food up. That was it. You know what I'm saying? So it was one of them things that we went to people's houses. We drunk out of their water faucets.
The water hose. Out the water hose.
Hey, water be hot to the mud. It'd be 90 degrees outside. Water be hot to the mud, but we drunk it. And then we got back on our bikes and we kept on rolling. But nowadays you go outside. Look, on Christmas time, right? You see all those boxes, trash can, see these brand new bicycle boxes, kids be on their bikes, riding their scooters, doing all that type of stuff. On Christmas, all you see is that same trash, but they got video games and they in the house.
Computers, video games, iPads, games.
Right, right. I mean, I had Nintendo when it first came out, but Nintendo was when it got dark, the street lights came on, and I couldn't do nothing but play video games. That's when I played video games. But other than that, I was out in them streets. So I see you about to fall asleep.
Yeah, it's been a long day today. But anyway, yes, I enjoyed this little talk with you. I really did. Thank you for helping me out getting this together, because I think this is going to be a great platform. It's a lot of people that I can interview and talk to from all over the world. I got I can't think his name, David. He wrote a book called Raising Greatness, which was about a Beyonce. I interviewed him on WLCP, and I'm pretty sure I can get an interview with him on my platform, because he still pushing his book, and he was just great. He was just great to interview, and he's a professional. Matter of fact, my colleague was his voice teacher.
Oh, okay.
And he became Beyonce's voice teacher.
Gotcha.
Okay. Gotcha. So it was like, and then I probably can get Christy Collins on here. She sings with Beyonce. She's one of the mamas.
And the great thing about it too is you can send them the link on their phones and they can do it on their phones, because sometimes we interview people.
Now that's back to that convenience thing again. But yeah, you're right. We can. It's very convenient. So
and it's easy on the phone, because once you go on the StreamYard, you copy that link, you paste it in a text message, and they just go to their text message, they click on it, and boom, it takes them right to the panel. So anything you need, and if I can't get to you, man, YouTube is the best tool. That's why I tell people, StreamYard, everybody uses StreamYard, so you can go on YouTube and do tutorials and find out even stuff that I don't know about it. I just use the basic stuff because I don't use a lot of crazy stuff. But here soon, I'm gonna start really doing some things. I'm gonna get me a soundboard, do all kinds of stuff. I got a boy. I'm gonna tap you in a lot of these people, man. I'm gonna say, hey, my boy is on live. Check his show out.
Okay.
And let's just see how people do that. So, hey, I appreciate you. If you need something,
hey, here, man.
And we gonna do this thing. We're gonna do this thing. Let me know when this interview is. Are we gonna do it at the school? Is that what you're trying to do, or how you gonna do it?
I'm gonna do it wherever. I mean, you don't even have to come down there. You could just get on here and jump on here, and I can jump more.
Okay. Well, I got a phone call.
All right.
But all right.
Hey, will this show be it's gonna be on YouTube?
Hold on right quick. Hello. Hey, how you doing? Oh, it's not 3386. Yeah, I don't like. No. Yes. Yeah. All right. And it's building E.
In here. Oh my God, I've been driving around.
All right.
All right, I'm gonna let you know. Will this be stuck on? This be up on YouTube?
Which way, left or right?
Hold on. So you go right.
Go to the right.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna let you go. Not you on the phone, but I'm gonna let you go. What were you saying about the recording?
Is this gonna be recorded? This gonna be on my YouTube page?
Nah, it ain't. It ain't. You didn't set it up for that.
Okay.
All right.
Well, what? Okay, then where is it broadcasted live to?
We not.
Oh,
You
it's
didn't.
broadcasting. Okay.
You didn't broadcast it.
Oh yeah, it says in broadcast over here.
All right. Well, let me get this driver.
Okay. So
All right, bye.
are you sure I didn't broadcast it?
You good? I think we'll see in a minute.
Nah, it says 0.
You said you got it.
Yeah, I went around that. I went around that corner.
All right, I'm gonna stand outside so you can
All
see.
right, I'm gonna let you go, man.
All right, I'm coming right now. It'll be on the left. Hold on. All right, Seymour, I'm gonna talk to you.
All right, bye-bye.